In today's video, we're taking a look at Dragapult versus Terabox. This game was filmed before Atlanta, so the deck lists are very different. It's stuff we were testing out. Just trying to see how the decks play against each other. Filmed a while ago. Our own builds, stuff we've seen in Japan, just mixed together to try and see what the deck is for this format. I think we had it pretty spot on. God of War and Dragapult were absolutely dominant, especially Dragapult in Atlanta. Raging Bolt and Goldengo, far more impressive, far more popular, powerful than we expected. But let's take a look at these decks in action. I'll flick up the deck list quickly and then we'll get straight into this one. Let's see how we get on in this one. I guess Dragapult going second here. We are currently on the Evo build, so we do have the option of Evo. First off, Earthen Vessel, find out some energy here. Just double checking the deck, seeing what's prized. We are going to see some more grass grabbed out. Obviously has the option of drawing cards via the Grass Ogopon. And we are going to see the Psychic as well. There are normally two of those, so that makes sense. So we've still got one in there for Crispin. And we are going to see the Ultra Ball come down here. Finding the Fan Rotom, setting up the bench. There might be another Ultra Ball at the end there as well, so we could potentially see a Terra Pokemon and just setting up that play for the Noctowl the following turn. Noctowl is going to go by the wayside here though, and we're going to see all the Owls searched out anyway. Could potentially see the Latias retreat into a Ditto, and Ditto can switch it up for a. I think he's just switching what he's actually getting rid of here. Like I say, we are just testing. No, we're not trying to, there's no stickler for our rules. We want to try and play it as well as we can and just, yeah, if we're unsure, go over it, redo it slightly, and I think, yeah, just try and get these decks played as much as possible to the best of their abilities to see what's good into what's good. We are going to see the Fan Rotom hit the bench. We're going to see a Hoot Hoot here. I think the Ditto, if the Ditto's still in the list, we'll see it here. If not, it's probably just going to be another Owl. Like I say, we were switching the lists around. I'm not sure what version we've currently got here. Is eyeing up another Fan Rotom, so I guess, okay, just to thin it out then, because we're going to see another Ultra Ball here to find the Terra Pokemon. And we're just going to hold the Owl as the final card with a Research. So potentially could have kept that, favouring the Owl here to find out something else later on. Probably a Crispin or something to attack. Now threatening the Ogopon, the Water Ogopon, able to snipe the bench and hit the active. Take out a few Dreepy here. So if we don't see 3 Dreepy down, this could very quickly go in favor of Terabox. But it's a lot to ask. We have already seen the Owl in hand, which does, with Crystal and Crispin, guarantee the attack. So although the Dragapult player may not realize it, they are in a whole heap of trouble here. I think potentially just going first is maybe the better, well, I think it's definitely the better decision. Especially now I don't play the deck with the Evo. I think focusing on just setting up a board and then going into your things like Jack and Brock scouting, stuff like that makes more sense. Very preliminary list. Very new to playing Dragapult. I was very hyped on it when it first came out, but it didn't quite have what things like Charizard had at the time. There was other insane decks like Lugia, but now Dragapult has finally found its place at the top of the food chain. We are going to see the Puffin off the Arven then, and a slight hesitation on the tool. I don't know if we're missing maybe a rescue board or something here that's making it slightly more difficult of a decision. But the Puffin obviously able to search out some more Pokemon. Rescue board is in play, so we can see a retreat into a Badoo at least and make things slightly more difficult for the player with Terabox. It makes sense. They're going to need Gust now. So it's a lot to ask. But we can't see Gust and Crispin played by Terabox. We're also going to be item lock-ins. So we're not going to see any Ogopon energy switch shenanigans. So this is actually probably a fairly safe way of doing it. You almost you are guaranteed. They can't play Counter Catcher. There's nothing online. There's nothing playable that's going to make it doable here. So I think we are going to see the attachment. Potentially could have put that on the Dreepy without the rescue board then. Not sure which. I think you probably have to clear the one with the rescue board as well. Oh no. And it is going to be an Evo play. Is it? Okay, no. So it's Itchy Pollen. We're just attaching the Evo to get rid of it. Potentially could have, like I said, could have used the Evo there. But I think the Itchy Pollen makes a bit more sense. Makes life a little more difficult. Means things like the energy switch doesn't then become an option. So they can then gust a Dreepy and take 2. We can see, we are going to see the Crispin for sure, meaning we can attack this turn. Do see the Crystal in deck. I don't know if we're going to grab that as well. Potentially make it slightly easier to attack with the Ogerpon. The 10 damage from the Itchy Pollen is actually hugely relevant as well. Obviously hitting 200 with the Dragapult means that is a prime target for when we see Dragapult EX in play. Crispin is going to be one of the choices. Noctowl obviously letting you find 2 trainers, but also going to be grabbing something at some point. Something juicy here. I'm not sure what the other card is. Maybe a research for the following turn. Maybe a Ultra Ball. Yeah, you're guaranteed to at least get into another Owl the following turn. So makes a lot of sense. Potentially, we've already lost 1 researcher. There might only be 1 in the list. I think most are on 2 though. We are going to see the double KO Budu and a Dreepy going down here. Dragapult is nothing if not resilient, and we are going to see the Dracloak giving up the attack this turn. All but guaranteed. There's no Dreepy on the bench. There's no Thornton in format anymore. So it is just going to be a turn off, which I think is fairly safe. Playing fairly quickly here, so I've got some idea of what the plan is. I think just drawing cards makes sense. We saw the Dracloak. Maybe see a Fez here just to draw some more cards. Which, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Just seeing more cards, setting up. We probably need to see a Buddy here. If not a couple, get some Duskull down. Get some, more importantly, Dreepies down, not Dragapults. Dragapults in time, but Dreepies for now. It's going to be the Fez for 3 then. I think we did see an Iono in hand. And the Buddy Poffin is found, more importantly. Didn't really play a ton. They did get the Ultra Ball, which makes you think they're going to use the Noctowl again the following turn. I think 2 Ultra Balls been used, 1 Owl been used, so an Iono put in that other Ultra Ball. There might even be 2 in hand to the bottom of the deck. Is going to be nice here. Could potentially slow things down. Obviously, Research has already gone as well, so there's not a ton of draw supporters to get them out of this on the other end. They are going to need to find... And it is going to be the counter catcher into Iono, so we're going to trap the Noctowl in the active, make it slightly more difficult. Not only do they need to retreat now, they need to attach to the Ogerpon and set it up. And since they didn't grab the Crystal, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do now. And I think the Dracloak is going to have to sit in the active, though, is the only worry here. To see and attach to the bench then. Or we could attach retreat. I think attaching to the bench is fine. Attaching to the active is very risky. I think the thing is, Ogerpon is probably going to be the attacker here. Rotom cannot kill the Dracloak in the active. So it's not even safe on the bench at that point. I think it's probably fine. Just preempt and say, I'm going to attack with Dragapult next turn. Is that 3 Nest Ball? Or is that an Ultra Ball discarding? Or maybe we're failing some of the Nest Ball. Just getting stuff out of hand. Playing the whole hand down to get a Mew seems pretty good. No prizes taken, so we're not going to see anything like a Fez active here. So I guess I've got 2 other cards in hand. Can they play anything else here is the question. Would have been really nice if they could have retreated into like a Budu that turn and just turned off items. That hand would have been absolutely dead, and the Terabox player might have been grasping at straws then. We are going to see, I don't know if anything else in hand can be played. Just Mew for 1 then. And is it going to be enough time? Has enough turns been bought? Can the Dragapult player get back into this one? It doesn't look like anything's happening or anything too exciting this turn for the Terabox player. Not able to retreat and attach unless they find something like a Crispin. I think it's just going to be an attach to an Ogerpon and just wait and attack in a few turns or a turn. Obviously, there's going to be a knockout this turn. Attached to the Latias could be interesting. I guess making Psychic the Dragapult's weakness does mean the Latias could potentially take out a Dragapult as well. We would just need to see a Crispin and a Clefairy, which isn't too much to ask. We were going to see the Dracloak almost took both to hand there. Oh, we did take both to hand. Just put the last card underneath. There we go. Okay, that was almost a disaster. Another Dracloak wouldn't be bad at all. Just drawing as many cards as we can. We do need to find the Dragapult this turn and a Psychic Energy or a Crystal, so we're able to attack. Even a Gust would be quite important, so we can knock out the Ogerpon. We're going to see a rare candy here. We are going to see 2 Dragapults enter play. So the Ogerpon is no longer an option. Well, you don't lose any draw, I guess. Well, you lose some. You don't lose as much because one wasn't a Dracloak anyway, so I think that's fine. We're going to see the Arven just for the Crystal here. Just digging through the deck, seeing if there's anything else they might need here. I guess thinning a card out is fine. Puffin could potentially set up some Duskull, which might help us finish the game off if we can set it up. It depends how many prizes are taken on the following turn by the Terra player. I think the Puffin is going to be played, so we are going to see some either Dreepy and Duskull. Maybe a Dreepy and 1 Duskull makes sense. I don't think 2 Duskull are going to get any use. Potentially you could put 2 down, so you have the option if one's KO'd. So could just fail this as well, like we've just done here. We've set up the board so that the Ogerpon is no longer usable or no longer a big effect. So potentially, yeah, we are just going to fail the Buddy Buddy, which I think is probably fine. We do play Turo as well, so we could potentially make it. Yeah, this could be really difficult, actually. If the Dracloak on the bench is knocked out, we could Turo the Fez and just make it an absolute slog for the Terra player to get through. Obviously, if they can set up Clefairy, it's going to be a different story. But their hand is dead currently. Iono to absolutely nothing. Mew not able to draw them out of it. No Gust then, it does look like, from the Dragapult player though. Nothing played at least. Potentially, we are just going to see a swing through the Noctowl. Just looking at resources used here, maybe thinking about just passing. But if they played absolutely nothing, they've used so much energy. Crispin's been used. And it is just a pass. They are going to leave the Noctowl stranded there with a Dragapult or a couple of Dragapults staring it down. We're going to see Area 0 hit the board and a Grass Ogerpon onto the bench. Potentially, Mew going to draw some more cards here. Obviously, we had to play Arven last turn, so using a boss was not an option. If there's a boss in hand, I don't mind this play at all. If we can guarantee some kind of Gust here, so we can attack around. Ideally, the next turn, the Dragapult player Gusts and they bump the stadium. So Ideally, they bump the stadium, then Gust, and then the Noctowl is going to be stuck on the bench. We are going to see an energy. An energy switch played there, I think. And that's going to go to... Potentially could try and set up a Mew here. It's going to be difficult deciding where this energy goes because not a ton of energy in play currently. I'm not sure they've got any in hand either, so it could be a very difficult few turns. We're going to see a Mew for 3 here. We did see another energy, so Grass Ogerpon able to draw. Not really the attacker you want, especially when the Dragapult in the active has a Crystal. Only the 1 energy attached. Only going to be swinging for some very low numbers. Potentially could 2-shot a Dragapult, but I'm not sure that's the route you want to go, especially with the Clefairy stuff in here. Obviously needing 2 energies, but finding it is going to be difficult. We've obviously missed, or used, sorry, I think it was 3 Nest Ball. Might have used 1 earlier, so not many options to actually find the Clefairy. Some tough hands to play for the Terra player here. We are going to see a Noctowl find out a Turo and Crystal. What's the plan here? I think Turo is going to be used on the Noctowl, and we're going to see... Okay, so we are going to see the Water Ogerpon attack here. So we're going to see the Dracloak be knocked out, and then some damage onto the Dragapult here. I think just thinking about it slightly, could potentially try and set up a KO onto the Fez instead. Like I said, the Turo onto the Fez once that Dracloak falls is going to make it a very difficult board to deal with indeed. Going to need 3 prizes through 2 different Dragapults. That is 640 health you're going to be going through. Obviously, you're going to hit 100 to the active, so slightly less, but still an absolutely mammoth task to ask for this deck. We are going to see the attack go off. It's going to be 100 to the active, and just deciding where the damage goes on the bench. I think the Dracloak is going to be the choice there. Take some of the draw off the board, I guess. We're going to see 100 damage onto the active. Going to be over to the Dragapult player then. 3 cards remaining in the prizes for Terra. None taken by the side of Dragapult, but this deck can very quickly get back into things. We're going to see an Ultra Ball searching out. I don't really know what you want to search out here. I guess the only thing would be, okay, just thinning the deck. I was thinking maybe you could use like a Hawlucha to KO the Pootu on the bench, but like we've already mentioned, it doesn't feel great. So we're just going to thin it out so we can draw some better cards off the Fez, and that has worked out nicely. We're going to see an energy attached to the benched Dragapult, and potentially we just see a KO and some damage spread here. And put 1 onto the grass, 1 onto Latias, and then just, yeah, spread damage. Just try and set up some late turns. Things very difficult for the Terra player here. Was able to find an attack following turn. Can they find one this turn is going to be the question. Obviously, a few options to do it. Crispin being the main one. I think they might have prized a Crispin or 2 this game. Not sure if they've gained any access to one. Obviously, the other route is the Grass Ogerpon with Energy Switch and attached to a Clefairy, depending what energy we've got available, what resources we've got. A lot of the deck already gone through just to get to this stage. And now, like we've mentioned, the board is it's going to be tough to get through, especially if that Fez leaves play. And once one Dragapult falls, I think we might see it turroed up and then just a lone Dragapult swinging away, making things very difficult. It's now going to be quite a task. A ton of damage spread, so a ton of options for prizes the following turn. Could even take a 4... No, we've got no Dusk cooldown. We could not take a 4 prize turn. We're going to see a Noctowl go down, though. Stadium's still in play then, so a ton of room on the bench for more Owls, or potentially the Clefairy that we need to see. All of the Nest Ball have been used, though, to draw cards earlier on. Maybe should have saved one, or maybe should have got down a Clefairy. Probably would have been a target for Dragapult, but there was no Gust played anyway, so could have kept it safe on the bench. It's a tough call. In hindsight, it makes a bit more sense. Maybe the Clefairy is prized as well. It's going to make life very difficult if it is. I don't know. I think we've seen a lot of recovery go. We've seen a lot of energy go. We've seen a lot of search. We've seen a lot of cards leave the deck already. So I don't even know if 1 Clefairy would be enough. We potentially need 2. 1 to get through this. I guess we could take this out with... I don't even know what we're attacking with this turn, though. A Grass Ogerpon's not going to do the job. Yeah, it would have to be something like a Clefairy or Latias or Mew or something. It's going to be difficult to attack with anything, though. We're going to need... It's going to be the Nest Ball, so we're going to see a... Yeah, Crispin is in hand. So we've got options. We can attack with most things. Maybe it's Clefairy prize then that's the issue. Not the Crispin we're missing. It's the Clefairy. I think just attacking with Mew, though, is probably fine. Swing through the Dragapult, put some damage onto the bench, and then maybe finish the game off with an Ursaluna. Going to be very tough to take 4 prizes, if not impossible, for the Dragapult player. So going to come down to these final turns then. We're going to see 2 off the Earthen Vessel. Giving the deck a quick shuffle, we're going to see the Grass Ogerpon here, draw some cards, and try and find a solution. Potentially, we've got the attack. It depends what energy is in deck, though. Let's see, Grass Ogerpon for 1. And I think that was a Fez off the top, just showing it there in some excitement as quite the top deck. Grass Ogerpon to the rescue here. Fez going to come down, potentially draw some more cards here. And the game could very quickly change off that Fez. We're going to see a Nest Ball come down. So we're going to see, if Clefairy's in deck, we're probably going to see it come down now. So that will sort of let us know what's in the prizes. It could be a Lunabear as well. Like we mentioned, that could be the way to finish this game. Swinging through the Fez if it remains on board. Just looking through their options, and it is going to be the Lunar Bear. So no way to attack with Lunar Bear this turn. We could see Crispin attach 2. Only 2 prizes taken, so we would still need 1 more energy at this point. Could see an energy switch though, so we could actually see Lunar Bear go through the Dragapult in the active. Which actually, yeah, that's going to make the last turn really interesting. Let's see which way they decide to do this one then. We're going to see Hoot Hoot hit the bench. So yeah, I don't think there is any option for a Clefairy. We're going to see Crispin come down then and set up this Lunar Bear. I don't think we've seen any. I think we've seen 1 energy switch. So potentially going all in on that play. We've still got Fez. We've still got a card in hand. We've still got draw off Mew. And the deck is absolutely bare bones at this point. So drawing those cards should be a high likelihood. But let's see how we go here. It's going to be a quick shuffle up. And we're going to see Mew draw some cards first. Then we're going to see the Fez try and save the day. It'll be Mew first then. A couple of cards off the top. Not sure we saw anything there. Then 3 off the Fez. There's the energy switch. We are going to see an attack this turn. And a knockout, more importantly, into the Dragapult. Only leaving 1 prize left. The problem is there's no 1 prizes. It's going to make it very difficult to finish up this game for the Terra player. Dragapult immediately pushed on the other side. No, as I mentioned, no stamp in this version, so there's no option to get them to just iron up the Fez there. We're going to see the Fez used. Just see what cards you've got, see what you can do this turn, see what you all your options before you make any decisions. We are going to see an Ultra Ball played. Can't imagine we're going to see anything grabbed here to put into play. Maybe a Lunar Bear, just have it on the bench to attack with. It's not really any more of a liability than anything else. Or it could be we're going to Iono this turn and we just want to get it to the bottom. I think Eva is a fine decision. Duskull then. We're going to see a Stretcher grab the fire energy we need there. And it's got to be on Iono unless we were just thinning the deck. We do see, is that Counter Catcher in hand? So we're not, okay, so we've not got Iono, we've not got any supporter to play this turn. It's just going to be a swing. Make them find a way to retreat the Lunar Bear and attack with something else, because it's not going to be able to get back into the active once it's retreated. Unless we do see something like a... Well, no, it wouldn't work. We would need to see a Turo and a boss. Counter Catcher is not going to be online. You don't need to rush for prizes with Dragapult, because look at the board. Look at that damage. Absolutely everywhere. I don't think there's going to be any way to get out of this. Potentially, the Clefairy must still be prized. Currently board locked, so a Turo and a Clefairy. I know, because you would need Clefairy, Turo, you'd need Crispin. You would need a lot. Maybe, I guess you could Turo, put down Clefairy, retreat into it. You could then energy switch and attach. So you could potentially do it. You would need a lot. I don't know if they have those resources left is going to be the thing. Eyeing up the win here, potentially, might be a little too much to ask from the Terabox player here. Especially as we've not seen the Clefairy, makes a massive difference. Having to put down other stuff, we saw the Mew and the Fez and other things go down last turn. Needed the Hoot Hoot to set up the option of a Noctowl. So a lot of cards that were valuable last turn, and without them, wouldn't have got the attack into that KO into a Dragapult. So it's sort of give and take. I don't know if it's going to be enough here, though. We're going to see the Ogerpon potentially draw a card here. Not sure what they would be looking for. I think there might only be 1 energy switch left. We can't even attack with Mew, really, unless we... I guess Crispin energy switch would be the ticket, but it's still not going to be enough. We'd need a way to swing into that Fez, and the Mew would not be doing enough. We are going to see Noctowl then. Just take a look through the deck, check the resources, see if it is a viable win condition here. Yeah, I don't see how you win this one. Potentially could attack with a Rotom, but any kind of Gust is going to seal the game. We are going to see the boss and energy switch. Could put one of the grass from the Ursaluna onto the grass Ogerpon. I just don't think that's ever going to be a way to get through the Dragapult. Obviously, if we... Okay, so we're going to try and strand the Fez. The problem there is if you attack with the Grass Ogerpon, they can knock it out and knock out the Ursaluna on the bench. I think there's just too much damage spread around the field at this point. Well, it depends. If we can see the Fez get out of the active, we're going to need an attachment and a boss or a counter catcher. Might as well play it out. Just make sure the Dragapult player has it. But it is going to be very much in the Dragapult player's hands here. A much slower tempo for the Dragapult player this round. And I think that's where the deck really shines. Obviously, a lot of important stuff missing for the Terabox player. Managed to attack every turn, but maybe not having the access to the... Yeah, I think the Rotom's probably the best bet. Gonna need a Gust now, as well as the Retreat. I think there was energy in hand before, so we have got the energy, and we've got the counter catcher, and that is going to be game. Bringing up the Latias or the Ogerpon and swinging through the Ogerpon and Lunabear to wrap this one up, showing off some of the strengths of the Dragapult and Terabox decks. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you want to see more tabletop stuff of the Pokemon TCG, collection stuff, tournament reports, all of that competitive stuff, make sure you subscribed. Let me know which deck you prefer in the comments below. These are two of my favorite decks, so I'm not sure which way I'd go on this one. I think possibly Dragapult just because I like the Pokemon better. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. A like and subscribe go a massive way, and I will catch you in the next one.